Most of us think compulsively all the time. That is to say, we talk to ourselves. If I talk all the time, I don't hear what anyone else has to say. If I think all the time, that is to say, if I talk to myself all the time, I don't have anything to think about except thoughts. And therefore, I'm living entirely in the world of symbols. Therefore, if you meditate for an ulterior motive, that is to say, to improve your mind, to improve your character, to be more efficient in life, you've got your eye on the future and you are not meditating. Well, meditation, when correctly done, has nothing to do with all that. It's a kind of digging the present. It's a kind of grooving with the eternal now. The place where it's at is simply here and now. If you simply close your eyes and allow yourself to hear all the sounds that are going on around you, just listen to the general hum and buzz of the world as if you were listening to music. Don't try to identify the sounds you're hearing. Don't put names on them. Simply allow them to play with your eardrums. It's all just sound. And if I am talking to you right now when you're doing this, don't try to make any sense out of what I'm saying, because your brain will take care of that automatically. You don't have to try to understand everything. As you hear sounds coming up in your head, thoughts, you simply listen to them as part of the general noise going on, just as you would be listening to the sound of my voice, or just as you would be listening to cars going by or to birds chattering outside the window. So look at your own thoughts as just noises. And soon you will find that the so-called outside world and the so-called inside world come together. They are a happening. Your thoughts are a happening, just like the sounds going on outside. And everything is simply a happening, and all you're doing is watching it. It's all just sound. The place where it's at is simply here and now.
Alrighty, what is up, guys? Aldo here. Welcome back to the live stream. How is everybody doing? I hope you guys are having a great Friday. Really appreciate you guys for showing up here. What's going on with this? Okay. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's see who's in the chat. We got Wonderbar. We got the Cryptodontist. Shout out to the Cryptodontist. Shout out to Wonderbar. Appreciate you guys. You guys have been fans for a while. Always appreciate you guys tuning in. So, couple thoughts about. Probably should talk about Bitcoin first, but obviously, similar to last night or yesterday, it triggered away for me on the 3-day, 2-day. So I would say overall, I mean, most things do look a bit more bearish other than like the 2-week that looks decent for continuation. Weekly bear div could be an issue. That's what I will say. Weekly bear div could be an issue. You do have, let's see. Yeah, you got the money flow kind of coming out here. So it does look, especially with the 6-hour confirmed blood diamond. Yeah, I mean, if you do break down from this point, it does look like a decent shot of, what's this range? I mean, something here to here. 64, high 64s do seem like the next thing. It is a Friday. It could take time to play out. We are getting a little jump off of this area. This is an extremely boring market, which is indicative, I would say, of what you do see a lot of times as you get into the summer, June, July, August, with July, August in particular being, historically boring months, I would say, from my experience in this game. So, yeah. And, if we look at and another thing, some thoughts about, Trump being found guilty. I think the most likely, like in terms of going to prison, that seems unlikely, as we know. I think the most likely scenario is some type of house arrest, probation type thing. Put him in house arrest, prevent him from doing the rallies. That does seem, sentencing July 11th, prevent him from doing rallies for 6 months to a year or whatever. So yeah, all should start to pump. Yeah, I do. Oh, okay. Vegas. Okay. Going to Vegas, nice. Probably, what airlines give you good Wi-Fi where you could actually watch streaming YouTube videos? Probably on JetBlue, maybe. Wondering what airline, maybe Delta. I don't think you're on American. Like I'd be surprised if you're on probably Delta. Delta or JetBlue. I know JetBlue probably gives you Wi-Fi. Alt should start to pump, maybe. Now, what I want to look at, I don't think I looked at it yesterday. Total 3 minus Tether versus Bitcoin, which would probably give us an idea of whether or not alts would pump here. Yeah, I mean, still up in the air. I would say more of a bullish situation right now. This has not done anything since close to a year now, which is pretty interesting. So it's either going to break upward, break downward. Maybe you have one more, break downward if we do nuke, or you could break upward. Even if we do come down, you could theoretically still break upward from this. Hard to say. I would argue it's hard to say. The other one was others versus BTC. Some people have liked to look at that. I would argue is a similar situation. It looks a little bit more bearish as of right now. Real bottom, June 23 bottom there. So yeah, that looks decent on that time frame though, on the weekly. And then Bitcoin dominance. I would kind of argue that you got a good shot of potentially. Man, it's a little, based on that 2 week, it looks like you're probably done. What's up, NBF? So yeah, I generally would think downward, especially this 3 week. That money flow could keep going, but I don't know. I think you're getting there, especially 4 hours to confirm this. The month is over, relatively soon. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Another month is in the books. Another month is ending. So yeah. So that's something we got to keep in mind here. And as you get into June, July, August, those summer months, and we'll see. We'll definitely have to see what happens. You guys, I've been staring at APE a lot. It has not done much since April. So about a month of nothingness, month and a half of nothing. It's either going to break up or break down. High or low, hopefully break up, but we don't know. And if Radu is right here, we will break up most likely for ApeCoin. Hopefully you're right, buddy. And yeah. Let's see. What do we want to look at? Obviously ETH versus Bitcoin would give us more of a bullish perspective still, I would argue. Maybe in the very short term you come down a little bit, but that 2 week confirms in 2 days. It does look good there. I think this is still generally bullish, and I think ETH could do a lot of damage against Bitcoin. I think it could do very well against Bitcoin over the next year to year and a half. You might even be able to make it all the way up to that point. I don't know if you will. But you might. You absolutely might. And then right, if we draw, that fib level, I'm just potential places where you could top out for this. There is another one I would argue. And then you probably should move, just do the fib levels, move this one up a little bit because I think we're definitely going to get above that level. So yeah, I don't know if you're going to make a new all-time high against Ethereum, or against Bitcoin, excuse me, but we'll see. Definitely have to see, but I think you easily could probably get 50 something percent or more, probably more, probably 0.1 here. So yeah. ETH is bullish. We'll see. I think ETH is going to do well for next year to year and a half. The question right now, I think for a lot of these is, how are these time frames going to play out? Are we going to reject here, double top, or are we going to, break through and hit 4,800? I don't know if you're going to. As of right now, it kind of looks like you're going to reject from these points. It is starting to look a little bit more bearish, but I still, there's still a lot of things we got to wait for and see, like how that 4-day plays out, how that 3-day plays out. There's a lot of things to keep our eyes on here. I feel like the Fed, it definitely isn't helping us at the moment for, for what they're doing and what they're saying, kind of. Inflation came in as expected. So, I mean, that's, it's not, unless it comes in better than expected, then you probably wouldn't have too much of a reason to jump up. If we look at the TLT, yeah, I would argue that's still got a good shot of continuing forward, probably. We've got to wait for that 2 week. That's what kind of went away here that we were really trying to get, and the inverse of that kind of on the 30-year, we're really trying to get that, but we haven't gotten that just yet. This thing could be sideways for a while, boring as hell until really towards the end of the year, guys. So yeah, Trump might get some years. I think it's unlikely for this that I think the same effect of putting him in prison would be on house arrest. My guess is going to be house arrest, but if the judge may give him time, given given all the ramifications. I mean, we got to see what happens, but I think in terms of helping Biden the most, you want to give him house arrest and prevent him from being able to do his rallies. I mean, putting him in prison, I feel like is not. I feel like at that point, the American people are just going to get more annoyed. But house arrest, kind of makes the most sense if you want to give Biden the best chance of winning this election. So yeah. Definitely sets a precedent. I don't know if there's been too much more like new news about it. Just want to see. I mean, NASDAQ is down today. We'll take a look at that in a second. Down, or is it? Yeah, I believe so. Down even more. S&P slightly down. Dow is up. I mean, I don't know if it's this. I wouldn't say this is necessarily going to help Trump. I would say it's going to. And if we look at, let's do some TA on freaking like Biden approve 538. We could look at in terms of approval ratings. Let's see. I just want to see the because if we look at who's ahead in national polls, let's try to do some TA. You can't really do TA on that, but how popular is Joe Biden? Let's just see like the approval rating. And you're hitting some support at 37, 38. You know what I mean? You're hitting that area support. Will it go below that area from now until the election? Pretty unlikely. I think you're going to get a little bit of a jump in approval rating, maybe a drop down in disapproval. Let's see, 56 disapproval, 56 right there. That's a big point here. So I think you would reject and come up a little bit for Biden's approval rating, helping out Biden a little bit. And if we look at the Trump-Biden polls, Trump being ahead, he's at 41 right now. I mean, he was up to 42, so you got some leeway there, but we definitely got to see. Kennedy, I'm surprised, is polling at almost 10%, so it looks very unlikely he would get into any of the debates. I think he'll be where he is now. They're going to do, maybe the Twitter thing will help him with the town hall. Elon Musk is going to do a town hall with Trump. He's also going to do a town hall with Kennedy. Maybe the Twitter thing will help him a little bit, but I don't see Kennedy getting up to that 15% he really needs. So yeah. And these are just general election polls, Trump being at, +2. So I think that, the Republicans, contrary to really popular belief, I do think this is a hit for Trump. I do think this will, I do think this will generally help Biden. I don't think it's going to be enough for Biden to win necessarily, but this is definitely, and if you could prevent Trump from doing those rallies, keeping him on probation, house arrest, or whatever the hell, that will help out Biden and potentially lead to a Biden victory, combined with potentially, as long as the stock market generally keeps going up. So yeah. The gag order, I would have to read up more on that. What the hell does a gag order even mean? I did civil law when I was in it. First time offender for something like that, I would argue usually would not get jail time. That'd be some probationary thing, but I'm not an expert on it. He was charged with a felony for something that's typically a misdemeanor. It's a little weird how that worked, but I would have to read more up on it. I don't take what I'm saying on the logistic stuff with a grain of salt. I don't know. I don't even know what a gag order is, so don't take what I'm saying in all serious. don't take what I'm saying to the bank. Like I really. I would have to research what is what a gag order is. I don't know what is a gag order? I mean, I don't gag order meaning judge verdict or talking about the case to talking about the case to the public. Is that something you would probably go to jail? Yeah, that's like witness tampering. That's why SBF went to jail before. Yeah. They did threaten that he would go to jail or whatever. Violated does, yeah. Talking negatively about the case. I don't know. Is that a real serious thing? I mean, I don't know. You would go to prison up until for violating a gag order, I believe you would go to prison up until your case or whatever. And then after, he would still be out now if they were to put him in. And then you got to wait for sentencing. Matt Ford, I do think it's going to be house arrest. Even if you did put someone like that in prison, let's just think about it this way. Say you put him in prison, it would be the same as house arrest almost. The Secret Service would have to check every single meal to make sure it's safe to eat. He still has Secret Service. Every former president gets it. And he would be sequestered away from the rest of the general population. So I don't think putting him on house arrest is pretty similar to putting him in prison. I would argue putting him on house arrest would be better for Biden in terms of Biden's chances of winning re-election rather than putting him in jail. We're not verbally attacking the jury. I believe it. I don't really pay attention to what he says too much, but yeah. Delayed until the house arrest would be it. I mean, the sentencing is July 11th. They could try to appeal. I don't know if it will get delayed until after the election. If it does get delayed until after the election, how the hell does that work? If he becomes president, I mean, that's the thing. Can you go into prison while you are president? Would they impeach him? Would you know what the? I don't know. There's a lot of questions here. Any sense? Okay. Rikers Island fine dining. They'd have to check the food, yeah. I'm sure prison food is terrible. I don't think he's going to end up in prison. I'm not a legal expert, but typically from what I read for I was listening to a CNN thing saying it would be unlikely for anyone to go to prison for a first offense like this for something like that. I mean, we could talk about gag order. Even if you say you violate the gag order, that puts you in prison up until your trial, and then you get out before sentencing, I believe, or you have to wait until sentencing. I mean, depending on the severity of the crime. Obviously, SBF he was in prison until his sentencing. After that, witness tampering thing was what he violated. But that was a much more serious crime, $8 billion, as opposed to a hush money trial of 100 and something K first offender for something like this. I mean, if we look here, scandals. I mean, when you look at Allan Lichtman's thing, let's look at Allan.
If he is,
here's what I think this election is probably going to be a close election coming down to the wire. If we look at Allan Lichtman's thing, where is it? Where the hell is it? Arguments for impeachment. Where is the freaking? Why am I missing Allan Lichtman? Oh yeah, Allan Lichtman keys to White House. I think it's that. Yeah, so when we look here, we have to have, we got to have, 5 or more. What is it again? It's really confusing the way. 6 or more are false. Incumbent predicted to lose. So we need 6 or more to be false here, Party man. Okay, so we need 6 or more to be false. We have 1, 2, no third party. That leads false. And then we need, so that's 3 false. These 2 lead false. These 2 lead false. So 1, 2, 3 false. 4, 5 false. think we need one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We need one more for Biden to lose. So these all kind of lean 1, 2, 3 false, 4, 5 are false. So it means that this is probably going to be a close election. Strong short-term economy, strong long-term economy. Those both lean true, and they probably will be true. I'd be surprised if things really get too crazy over the next 5 months. These two lean true as well. No social unrest, no scandal. Social unrest. I don't think you would see social unrest regardless of Trump going to prison or what's happening. No scandal for Biden, not any worse than there's already been. So you're looking at, according to this, a good shot of Biden winning re-election by the skin of his teeth, probably. Change the course. A scandal would, yeah, absolutely would. I mean, you had because you're looking at, no scandal here, Hillary Clinton. So this would 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah. But if we had one of these falses being true, major policy change. What was the major policy change? Build back better. That's what it was. Oh boy, yeah, it's a little bit okay. I guess build back better. I mean, yeah, you could kind of. I don't know if I would agree with that. That would be for a Trump. I don't know. I don't know if I'd agree. That's a major policy. Inflation Reduction Act. I guess you could argue, yeah. I mean, when you really do, if people would disagree with me on this, but I mean, when you really look at the pro-America sign, come on. An S Trump? We'll look at that in a second. What's up, Kevin? Shout out to Kevin. K-Mac. I think this absolutely would. In 2016, that could have, yeah. If he was charged with that, just the public perception of Trump back then, the difference is, yeah, he probably would have lost to Hillary. I would assume if he was actually charged or, like he was now, yeah, or found guilty of it, yeah, Hillary probably would have won, probably. What was I gonna see? S Trump. Oh, Super Trump. Yeah, there's a lot of the free Trump one was the going wild. I don't know, man. It looks like it could potentially keep going. It's hard to say. It's not enough data here. I mean, maybe try to wait for a 4-hour bear div, then it's maybe done. But a lot of these could keep going. I know the free Trump one was the other one that's been jumping. I don't know. Mate, what about Trump itself? There's Trump USD, the MAGA one. That's generally just been trending upward. We'll see what happens. And it doesn't look like it's generally going to stop anytime soon. What does S Trump mean? So I was super, I mean, that was probably a ton, right? Yeah, 60%. The free Trump one, that's probably insane. Yeah, just a speculation. Oh, yeah. It went up 40x. He would have got in. If you could have predicted, he would have lost, and then, yeah, you could have made some money. Would there have been enough liquidity to even buy enough of this to get rich? Could you have even bought 10 grand worth of this and got a 40x or something to make 400K? I don't know. Bidenomics, I mean, yeah, look, a lot of people would argue that, but when you look at what the real picture here is, I'm not disagreeing with you, but when you look at the SPY outperforming M2, generally during Biden's, time, when did he come in? 20, let me just look at the weekly here. Oh my God, this is better than I thought it would be. 21, I mean, you came down in 22 and then, yeah. But yeah, I think the big thing here that kind of, whether you think major policy change, like if you consider that to be a true statement, we need 6 or more for Trump to win. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they consider that false, he loses. That's the main thing there. But I would think that would stay to be considered true if you do, if you do keep going up with S&P 500 into the end of the year, which I do think is a good shot. How's Apple and a lot of these doing? Done nothing lately. I mean, SPY in general is down a bit, right? I mean, let's look at the daily here. Yeah, another red day. So we're hitting a major point, though. And if you look at, now we're getting that jump off of there. That 4-day looks atrocious. 2 weeks still looks good. So, I mean, the question here is what happens. I mean, you're hitting this point. Do you hold this point or do you keep going down lower? If you are to go down lower, Dixie keeps going, I would see a potential retest to 508. After that, you're probably going to recover. Is it Uniswap you could buy this on? The thing with this is like, yeah, it looks good. I don't know. Anybody buy it? Should I buy it? I don't know. Free Trump. I should put a little bit in this. Where could this go? Let's see. What is that from where we are right now? Could this go up another 10x? Maybe. I have no idea, but it could. So if I put $100 in this, can I make $1,000? Maybe. Maybe. I almost want to buy it. I might buy it after the stream. I might put $100 in this just to see. They may rug pull. We don't know though. I mean, it could get listed in places and crap. Yeah. But man, it's wild. I mean, what do you guys think? I think that I kind of agree with Matt Ford that the most likely scenario here is going to be some type of house arrest, probation type thing. I do think, I do think that even if Trump was found innocent, I do think that the polls will get tighter and it will be a closer election too. Usually the person that looks like they're going to win in the summer always changes. I mean, it really looked like Hillary was going to win in the summer of 2016. We all saw what happened. Polls went the other way after that too. I mean, they were wrong to a certain extent, but up to getting close to, what was I going to say? Getting closer to the election, the polls were definitely a lot better for Trump, and then the Comey reopening the case or whatever, which was interesting. So yeah. Let's see here. I don't know. Wait, what do you mean by kill any publicity? I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, it didn't work out. She lost. I mean, you think it? Okay, you think a rug pull? It could be. Be careful. Let's see how the pepper is doing. Yeah, I could get up to that point potentially. But that bear div here, ooh, a little concerning on that 3-day. Anything in particular you guys want me to look at? Let's look at, I just wanted to see some Mutant Apes. Not doing as good as we would like them to. 8K, if we look at the thing here, hopefully we're making a higher low. Hopefully we're making a higher low. Maybe there's a chance here. And if we look at, just look at what's been up and down. So not coin. Oh, I've heard of this. already has been up, which is, I would assume, kind of somewhat of a good sign for NFTs in general, but that's obviously ordinals. This does look decent, yeah. Hitting this point. This is where you may reject from. Be careful, though. Right there. That's a big point, I would argue. Yeah, the top of that. Top of that one. The 382, I would argue. Yeah. Really, that wick. Let's do it there. Oh. Hit the wrong thing. That's a big point. Yeah, that pocket. And it's up so much, too, yeah. So what's done the worst here? A cash, a mutable X, mutable H bar. Let's look at H bar. That's a good one to definitely look at right now. Diamond pattern. I think those typically do break bearish, but it's a less common pattern. I mean, I don't think it's too bad. I think we will hit that kind of area. Dog USD. Dog coin. Surprised it took this long for somebody to come up with dog coin. Jeez. I would argue it's kind of concerning on some of these time frames, trigger waves and stuff. I don't know if I would mess with this. The real meme coin right now, I think, is the free Trump meme coin for obvious reasons. So yeah. Could hold that area would be good, yeah. ETH and Bitcoin kinda. I mean, they kind of do in the short term. I mean, you're coming back up now. It's been the most boring range-bound crap in a while. We're coming into the weekend, so it's harder to say, but I do think you would come down a little bit more. I mean, you could come back down to this area around 3,500, you know, in the next month, next few weeks. Bitcoin, it does seem like maybe by the end of next week you hit 64. It is generally a boring, you know, kind of a boring market here. Free Trump is on Uniswap, I believe. You may have to manually add it in or something. It's been a minute since I've... Atom, trigger wave forming. I do think Atom's got a good shot. I'm not really seeing it go much below like 650. You could retest that at some point, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd buy it at the moment because of the head and shoulder type thing, and then the you know, the blood diamonds here, but 6 something, I think. I think you would probably go down based on those in the short term. Alley. Gemini likes it. Winklevoss have been better historically. They've seen better days, but maybe their reputation will come back a bit. This does look pretty good, though. The other one, too, I do like how this looks. The other one, too, is Eternity. Let me look at it on Gemini. They were one of the... they did like this one. Let's look at it. Like on a... Probably came up a hell of a lot since then, 200. Yeah, it's like we're at the scene of the crime, too. These wicks. Look at these wicks right there. That could be big if we could hold that area. We may not, though. I don't know, but could do something. What was that other one? The Spark Point. Oh, that's just completely dead at this point. Yeah. Still could see. So, I mean, that is a somewhat a reverse head and shoulder type situation. Okay, it's probably better off to buy it on CoinEx. I don't even know. I'm not for... Does anyone know CoinEx? Is this a good exchange? I'm not familiar with it at all. But this is, yeah, just dead. We're just looking at dead projects. What's the VPAD? Oh yeah, VPAD. Crypto. New failure. New lower low. Okay, that one looks the worst. Carl's one though. Casta. It's Bybit still, yeah. That's a better gamble, but it's just dead. You design and draw NFTs. Well, maybe shoot me a DM somewhere. I'm not going to promise you I'm going to respond to it, but send me your resume. Send me what you do, and we'll talk. Dow. Big error right here, reverse head and shoulders, I think. Other than that, though, it doesn't look like the most promising thing at the moment. I don't know. 97%. So it seems like people are going to probably get their principal back, but they're not going to really earn interest on it. So nah, don't. You're not allowed to put your crap in here. You could shoot me a DM on X or something, but yeah. Send me the DM. I'm not going to go through the... Anyway. ES right now, jumping off of that point. Yeah, I don't know about I just don't know right now with the thing. NVIDIA at $1,100. I believe we are looking like we may reject from that. Okay. I think the video will come down a little bit. This looks first head and shoulders in GameStop. You may get some relief here. Probably more range bound though, honestly. How about Tesla? Probably nothing, not too much happening. Yeah, just choppy sideways. That's a reverse head and shoulders. I'd argue you'd probably eventually break upward. I did look at Apple, but I want to look at it again. Not too much cooking though. What about Meta? If you bought there, you'd still be up 100 something. 4x from there. That got destroyed. I mean, that is like the most volatile big cap. Wow. I mean, it's kind of looking like you're going to see, you know, a minor pullback for a lot of this stuff. I mean, if we look at, I mean, you could even come back to there or that high. I mean, there's, you know, I'd argue that's a big point, obviously. I mean, who's that? You're coming back to there. So, yeah. And this is what it's kind of like, I would kind of guess for a lot of these, you know, you come down to this point or something, like a summer lull, and then you come right back and by the election try to make new all-time highs. That's what you could see for Bitcoin too, but how's that oil? So just to look at some inflation kind of metrics. I would argue, yeah, that's still bearish, which is a good sign for, you know, inflation going down. But I still think that at this point, I think the Fed, I mean, they could pivot earlier, but it seems like that it's probably going to be right after the election now, which makes them look the least impartial, just not not moving it until after the election. But if things do, you know, come down more, it could be earlier. You know, maybe July. I think it's highly unlikely. June, almost impossible for June. Unless we'd have to flash crash like crazy. July or September is possible, but at this point, November looks like the thing. I mean, cattle's a decent indicator of it, I would argue, too. And that I'm not seeing any reason to believe this is gonna, you know, just keep going like crazy. I think it's gonna start to come down more. So yeah. Trying to think here. Oh yeah, that's the one that's been going nuts, right? It's a new coin, yeah, that's why. I don't know. Bear div would keep me scared on the 4 hour and the 6 hour. This could be a good short, actually. Right there's where we could jump for the Dixie. That wick, I guess. This thing doesn't really do much. I mean, this thing's hard to read and doesn't really do much. And I would assume that as long as the Fed kind of stays flat, it would probably remain range bound. So, yeah. I mean, red hike and ashy on the 2-day on the ETH is going to be one of your more bearish signs. We're coming up a little bit right now. Getting up to that point. We'll see if we could push through this. I'm thinking probably not, based on that 30 and based on how these time frames are looking, probably not. But we'll see. We'll see. And these new spider lines have been meaning business. So, excuse me. So you broke down off of this range, this trend line. Now you're trying to retest it. That could be your drop downward. We definitely got to see though. Where is VWAP right now? Let's see. VWAP. We're above VWAP. Okay. So, yeah. I just want to see what is like the news saying about I haven't looked at it in a minute. We could look at Fox and look at MSNBC too. Newsmax. Split among, let's see. New phase of campaign. Chilling warning. Oh, yeah. That's the thing, too. There's like a lot of people posting on YouTube, like the Republicans on YouTube right now, saying that Trump's going to win every state and all that crap. Like, this is what happened when Biden announced Kamala as running mate. All these people, Tim Pool, all those clowns were, well, I don't want to call them all clowns, but you know what I mean. The clickbait, you know, people, you know, who were completely wrong, said, you know, Trump's going to win every state. I mean, this is not good for Trump, I would argue. This lessens his chances of winning, most likely. Let's see. Although if he appeals and wins, then I don't think he would win. State or federal systems, yeah. Oh, what's this? Let's do it. Non-endorse, okay. Yeah. Surprised Pence ran for president. I guess it's just he's kind of became something. Can't believe Maxine Waters is still relevant. This entire thing. Who likes Biden? Pence likes Biden. Biden needs to pick Pence as his running mate. He's got to get rid of Kamala and pick Pence. No, I'm kidding. So we'll see. We'll definitely have to see what happens here. So many falses right here. That was like landslide territory. Let's just see here. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4 falses. Yeah, so I would predict George Bush. This gets it right though. I mean, this really gets it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This was the one where Al Gore. Yeah, Al Gore would have. I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any uncharismatic challenger. Yeah, I guess you could argue. Yeah. Hmm. 2, 4, 5, 6. Let's see here. Oh yeah, probably because I said that this probably hurts Trump against Biden, that him being found guilty. I'm just saying what would probably happen in terms of the voting. I would think a little bit overall, and I'm just looking at the kind of the patterns. Like I would assume Biden's poll numbers would do a little bit better than the abysmal that they've been, but yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I mean, I think regardless of what happens, it's generally going to be the same kind of thing. I mean, I think America's just going to slowly lose its kind of place as the world power, more polarization, more of that type of stuff. But yeah, but I don't want to, let's talk about more the crypto markets a little bit. We are coming up now. In that area. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. I would argue still more bearish. Probably going to get off in a few minutes. Not too much else to talk about at the moment, guys. But let's just see. Trying to think here. Yeah, not too much at the moment really happening at the moment. Not too much at the moment happening at the moment. But yeah. Funny if he's still kind of high on ETH. Looking high on Bitcoin for a lot of these. Not Bybit though. So I'd say the general amount of people do still think that Bitcoin will keep going up. So yeah. Oh, and guys, if you guys are interested in the Discord, a link down below. If you guys want one free month, if you deposit at least $100 in any exchanges down below, you'll get one free month in the Discord. Check it out. A lot of good stuff in there. We do the discount if you pay in crypto too. That is info in the support ticket channel in the Discord, so check that out. Shiba Inu. See what happens here. Anyway, guys, kind of running out of things to talk about. You know, not too much else really going on at the moment. I mean, I just want to look at Cardano and a few other things. I mean, the monthly is, yeah, this is the last thing we'll kind of wrap it up with. I mean, the monthly is concerning on a lot of this. That monthly trigger wave would make me want to wait till long really anything right now. And that's the same thing that we're seeing kind of evolve on Bitcoin. I do think that this could be a pretty good kind of short setup for Cardano here potentially. A nice 1-to-1 or something there you might be able to pull off. So if you do think we're going to come down to 39 cents, so yeah, that's what it's kind of looking like. A few of the Bitcoin evaluation would be useful to look at. A little concerning there. You could break down farther potentially. Yeah, Cardano is not what we were kind of hoping. So yeah. And if we look at kind of Matic, let's look at Matic on that monthly on Matic was the major concern with that blood diamond. Same thing there. So definitely got to see. I would argue, you know, here was not well, once it did the end of the next month, that was kind of the buy area. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Definitely see what happens. It could be, if we do see a bloody June, July, you know, end of June, July would be really the place. We'll see what happens here. Anyway, guys, check out the Discord. I'll see you guys in the Discord. Link down below. Check out the exchanges down below. We give away the $100 bonus once a week to one person that signs up to FAIRDESK with my link. Deposits any amount, does one futures trade. Also, if you want one free month in Discord, like I mentioned, if you deposit $100 into any exchanges down below and open a support ticket with your UID, we'll get you sorted. So yeah, check that out. Really appreciate you guys.